Hey guys, it's William here with the Shape Game, here with a very special video, although personally, I feel like every video is very special. Da-dun-ch. I don't know why that was a rim shot. It should have been more of like a audience going, "Aww" moment. No more delay. Let's get to why it's special. It's special because it has been 5 years, give or take a couple days, since I went to the hospital for my brain bleed, and then within 2 weeks after that, I was diagnosed with glioblastoma. So, I mean, I'll do a little recap of how those couple weeks went, but it's been 5 years, which is crazy. As you know, since the last video, I am all clear up here. Scans are all clear. Have been for over a year now, I believe. It's crazy how bad I am about tracking how long I've been clear and how long it's been. My parents pretty much do that for me now. My mom will be like, "Oh my gosh, it's been 5 years." I'm like, "What? It's been 5 years?" Or she'll be like, "Wow, it's been 2 years since this. My mom's great at it. She's keeps me remembering what I should already remember. So here we go. Let's talk about this. I still remember that day vividly. That I ended up in the ER. I remember being with my friend Melissa, being happy, feeling great, having no seizures, having no headaches, nothing like that. Going with her to get a smoothie, which is something I have not done maybe once since then. Not because of PTSD memories of that day, but really, I just learned that smoothies don't agree with me. And that day, after having the smoothie with Melissa, I get out of my car and have literally 30 minutes after the smoothie, I have the worst headache I've ever had in my life. And I thought, of course, and I was nauseated also, nauseated and had a headache. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, that smoothie messed me up. My stomach is sensitive to acidic things. This place was not one of the super healthy ones. They had a lot of orange juice and sugar and milk. I got a lot of medical stuff other than the cancer that involved certain food items not working with my stomach. And I just assumed that I was having food poisoning reaction to the smoothie. I get out of my car, walk to my 4 p.m. class, and I get to the door of the classroom. I'm telling myself, I'm not skipping class. It's not that bad. And then I immediately rush to the restroom because I feel like I gotta throw up. Thankfully, I don't throw up in the restroom and just decide, yeah, I'm going home to my apartment, not dealing with this, not dealing with feeling through class like this because the headache was so bad and I was so nauseated. Good thing I didn't go in the classroom because about 5 minutes later, by the time I got back to my car, I ended up throwing up. Unfortunately, it was in the car, wish it would have been in the bathroom, but my body was like, no, you gotta wait a little bit. I don't know why I did this, because I was so headachy. I don't know if that's the right term, but just a little out of it. But I drove home. It was about 10 minutes from my apartment to the college. I got there. My mom called me because she and my dad were on the way to Dallas at the time where I was, and unrelated. And she was like, "How you doing?" I was like, "Not that good. I'm really nauseated and have a headache." And my whole life, even after the cancer, in that day, I really don't have headaches. I just don't. I know many of my family members have headaches. I know people have headaches, but I was always like, I'm so lucky. I just don't get headaches. So I knew something was strange with that. But once again, I still just thought it was the food poisoning. I'm not that smart, but that's how it goes. So my parents are there. My grandparents show up too. They see how I'm doing, and they're like, "Yeah, no, this isn't working. We're gonna have to take him to the emergency care. Not the hospital. One of those little. I don't know if they have this where you guys are, but in Texas we have so many of the ER places. It's 24/7 ER care. It's not a hospital, but they got doctors there. So my parents take me there, and after 5 minutes of being there, the doctor on call says, "Yeah, no, you need to go to an ER. We could do tests and stuff here, but based on what we're seeing, you need to take him to the ER." So my parents did. A few more, throwing up on the way there. We get there, and this is where it starts to get groggy. They didn't even start giving me medication, but I'm guessing because of the brain bleed that was going on in my head at that moment, I just stopped being with it, you know? It was real hazy in my memories, and from what I remember being at that moment, and I just don't remember that much, you know? I remember my mom, of course, being right next to me, my dad being next to me, the doctors coming in and out. I remember them talking about biopsies and things like that. And that little over a week I was at that hospital. It felt way longer. That I did not enjoy that. Didn't enjoy that at all. I was really miserable, and I was high on morphine the entire time, and don't remember any of it. Family members and friends who visited me while I was in the hospital told me that I swore like a sailor, and sure. I don't know why morphine made me just swear a bunch. So, doctor said I had a brain bleed. Thankfully, they didn't have to go in to make the bleed go away. It naturally went away on its own. And, well, the rest is history, you know? A couple weeks later, they came back with the results saying that it was GBM, that it's not always a brain bleed that causes them to check and see if it's, you know, cancerous. But it's usually seizures, you know, slurred speech, or eyes changing your vision, you know, vision problems. But I was lucky, really lucky, to have the brain bleed so far in advance of the size of the glioblastoma. The glioblastoma itself was so small at that point. You know, once again, I'm bad at this. I don't remember the exact millimeter, centimeter, whatever, the size of the growth. But, you know, so yeah, once again from there, I have all these videos. You can check them out on my channel. I'll put some links in the description so you can find those ones where I talk about going to the hospital in Houston, MD Anderson, and my journey from there. But I just wanted to do this little video to talk about how it's been 5 years since I went to the hospital for a brain bleed. And I mean, it's just crazy that, you know, once again, I've talked about doctors and diagnoses and giving you estimates on your lifespan and stuff. It's crazy to me that the doctor at that first hospital we went to in Dallas said, don't look up the studies online, which is great. I'm glad he said that, because don't ever look up glioblastoma online. It is not fun to do. But on top of that, he said, you have about a year. And then obviously, that was not correct, because it's 5 years since that point. So it's like, that's just credit to the whole, I really don't like when doctors tell anybody estimates on that stuff, because everybody's different. Everyone's got different bodies, all that stuff. Anyways, oh my gosh, I'm just so happy it's 5 years. I mean, I'm just happy that it's anything. I mean, this is my message to you guys, you know, at this 5-year marker, you know, I can't wait to see you guys in 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever. But just be positive, you know. It's not going to be easy. It's really not going to be easy to go through any of this once you're diagnosed. If this is the first video you're seeing, it's not going to be easy. I wish I could tell you it is, but it's just not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, not just for yourself and your family and friends, but it's gonna be hard for you, you know. See, for me, I didn't. The side effects of all the treatments are not fun, but for me, some of the worst stuff was having to see all the other people in the hospital. You know, people much younger than me. You know, or just seeing people have panic attacks because of the MRI machine and their claustrophobia. So it's a long journey, you know. But being positive and making sure you tell yourself it's going to be okay, you can beat this, you can get through this, that definitely helps, in my opinion, you know, because what are you going to do? Your options literally are, oh wow, I'm screwed, I got a blah 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 amount of time left, this sucks, I'm going to go through all this, it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. I mean, you can go that way, you know, but I was like, nah, I don't want to think that. I'm like, doctors are smart, you know, there's treatments out there, you know, second opinion, third opinion, find some answers, you know, look out there for some things, you know, stay positive, you know, and whatever is going to happen, the world's going to happen, you know, but I don't want to live however much time I have left, whether it was that year or 5 years, 10 years, whatever. I didn't want to live it being like, oh, this fucking sucks, sorry for the profanity, but you know, it's like, I just didn't want to live in depression over something, especially for me, when I lived with depression for 5+ years before that, and just realized and gotten help and therapy and worked on myself, and then I get diagnosed with this cancer, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going back to that. Like, being sad and depressed is not enjoyable for me in life, and if I have an option to react to this diagnosis in a positive way or a negative way, I'm going to do the positive, because I've seen how my life is when I react to it negatively, and it's not productive for me, at least, and that's how it is. That's just me. I'm sure the people watching this know me. They know that's how I do it. They know they're like, William's positive all the time and all that stuff. Yeah. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I have a couple videos planned for this week. I have one about nausea. This month, coming up. But I have one about nausea, how I dealt with it for like chemo stuff and the treatments with that. And I have one where I want to talk about Avastin, because I realized I took that when the chemo itself was not shrinking the tumor, and the Avastin really helped. And I realized I never did a video, at least unless I just missed it, I can't find it on there, where I dedicated talking about Avastin. And I think that's something really helpful for people with GBM, because Avastin is one of the few drugs out there that can go past the blood-brain barrier, and actually help with that. And on top of it being an IV drug, there are no side effects. I mean, there are no real side effects to it, I didn't have any nausea, nothing like that. Of course, chemo has all these crappy side effects, but thankfully Avastin didn't add anything to that. And it actually, after having an MRI after starting the Avastin, had apparently kicked GBM in the butt for me. So I was like, okay, this is great. So I would love to do a video about that, planning on that within the next couple weeks. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. I cannot believe it has been 5 years since I started this journey, and I'm so happy we've picked up people along the way. I mean, we're literally at 1,000 subscribers now, and I know so many of you have been there since the beginning. So many of you are just finding the channel. I do not plan on stopping this channel anytime soon. I cannot wait to keep going on this journey with you. Whether it's ups and downs happen, I'm going to be here with you guys. And thank you. Thank you once again. And here's to another 5 years of figuring this crap out. See you guys.